All right, so now we're going to move into more of the money situation, things like pricing, etc. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how much should you charge? Now, I'm not a dog walking business expert. I'm more of a general business expert. I know how to help people start their businesses and ask them the right questions. So in terms of how much should you charge, I honestly can't tell you. What I can tell you is we already did some market research, so you should have a pretty good idea of what other people are charging. You already have a sense as well of, are you walking dogs for 15 minutes? Are you walking them for a half hour? Do people add on a service charge if they have to drive, 5 miles, 10 miles away, etc.? Do you have to bring your own equipment like leashes, etc.? Whatever the case might be, you have the best idea of what you can charge. Now, obviously, for pricing, you need to be competitive with other people. There are certainly websites out there, and I did a little look at a few of them, where there are dog walking websites where you could actually join a community. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the lecture that's coming up. But you need to look at their pricing as well, because there's definitely a sort of a bit of credibility that goes with that if you're part of sort of a community of dog walkers versus just being completely on your own. So you need to be competitively priced, fair with everybody else, and then it's up to you if you want to go a little bit cheaper to try to get business. If you want to go a little bit higher, premium pricing is what it's called. Maybe you offer extra services. You're willing to not only walk their dogs, but groom them for, brush them out for 15 minutes. I know personally that's something I would be like, okay, that's actually kind of nice, because that's something I don't want to do, and I'd be willing to pay a little bit extra money to have somebody, brush my dogs every day. So things to think about, and you can also think of those in terms of add-ons, if you will. You'll walk dogs for X amount, and hey, you'll also clip their nails or brush them out or whatever, or play with them as well for 15 minutes after you walk them or beforehand. Basically make sure they're worn out. So whatever the case might be, make sure your pricing is competitive and fair. And then the other question you have to ask yourself is you really need to think about, are you going to be making enough to sustain the business? And we'll talk about that a little bit more as well in an upcoming lecture.